Introducing the Summit Real Estate Investors Mastermind. What's happening? It's Eric J. Olson. About a month ago, Kevin and I went to a real estate summit. So this was a conference. It was in Miami, about 1,500 attendees, and it was actually called the Real Estate Summit. It was a 3-day event, and on the very last day, with about an hour to go before we had to leave to go catch our plane, as we were walking back from lunch to the final session, we've been exchanging numbers with people and cards and all that stuff. But Kevin said to me, he goes, what'd be really cool is if we had a Slack group for the attendees here so we can keep in touch easier. And I was like, man, that's a good idea. You know what? That's a really good idea. Kevin, dude, that's a really freaking good idea. And so as we were walking, I pulled on my phone and I went into Slack and I created a work group and we discussed it. What do we want to call it? And we called it the Summit because we were at the Real Estate Summit. We called it the Summit Real Estate Investors Mastermind. And we only had about an hour left before we had to take off for the airport. And so we told a couple people that we bumped into and that we had been talking to during the course of the 3 days. We're like, oh, hey, hey, here's the link. And we may probably only told 10 people out of the 10. I don't even know how many signed up. But what happened was they told their friends and other attendees there. And this thing's actually blown up in the last, I'll say blown up because it's grown way bigger than I would have expected. We're at about 65 to 70 members as we speak about a month later. Now, granted, that's not blowed up, right? But it's pretty big, especially since we only had about an hour. And by the way, in that hour, we were listening to a speaker, right? So we didn't have hardly any time to tell people and promote it or anything like that. It was just grassroots. And then they invited their friends and they invited their friends. And so now we've got 65 to 70 members in this Slack group that is called the Summit Real Estate Investors Mastermind. And the point of this Slack group is to get like-minded people together who are interested in real estate investing to start talking about what they're doing, share ideas, share deals in case they're looking to partner up on a particular deal, and then also to have others come into it like providers. As an example, there is someone in the group who lends money to investors who want to buy investment properties. I mean, that's a perfect fit. It's like peanut butter and jelly. So yes, I want people in that group so that when I'm like, hey, what's the going? I literally asked this question, by the way. I literally asked this question about 2 weeks ago. Hey, what's a good interest rate for I don't know. I'll just make up a number, $1 million loan for a small apartment complex. What's the going interest rate? And what I got back was about a paragraph saying, well, it kind of depends. If it's this kind of property, it's between 2 and 2.5. If it's this kind of property, it's between 2.5 to 3%. But I got a ton of information for free. Guess what? When it's time for me to go get that loan, there's a really, really strong chance I'm going to reach out to that person in this mastermind Slack group. And I'm going to tap him and be like, hey, what's the rate now? And what's it going to take for me to get that loan? And he'll be the first person that I go to. There's also several deals that are kicking around where people are like, hey, I need to raise $300,000 in order to buy this. I don't know how much it would be, a very expensive apartment building. I've only got $100,000. I need to raise, so I need an extra 200. Who wants in on the deal? I'll provide all the information you need. And so that's the point of this mastermind. People who want to invest in real estate, and it's really multi-unit investments, not just like I'm going to buy a single family home and rent it out, but I'm going to buy 10 doors at a time, or maybe 30, or maybe 200, right? But people that are wanting to put together deals and they're looking for like-minded people to make sure, number one, this is a smart move. Number two, is there anyone else that is interested in going in on this with me? And then, number three, the service providers. If you are interested in joining this mastermind, it is currently free. Now, there's a really good chance that at some point, as it grows, Kevin and I are going to put resources into it. We're going to spend money to make it even better, right? We may buy books for everybody. We may get a speaker lined up that could cost us money. We probably have to go to the paid version of Slack. That costs money. That's like $10 per user per month, just that alone. Right now, it's free, and it probably will be for the rest of the year. If you want to check it out, then you can go to my link in bio, All right. So go to my social media. I'm on every social media at I am Erik J. Olson. By the way, I'll spell my name out for you. ERIK JOLSON. I am Erik J. Olson. You go anywhere on the internet, any social media platform, that's my handle. Click on the link in my bio and you will see the link to the mastermind. I really need to get a vanity domain, don't I? So let me check into that right now. As a matter of fact, it'd be a lot easier to say, go to this URL. But for now, go to the link in my bio and you can join the mastermind at no cost. Hey there, it's Erik J. Olson. I wanted to let you know about my book, $1 Million Journey, How to Launch a 7-Figure Business. This is the story of what it took for me to go from freelancer with no clients, no employees, no revenue, to growing a $1 million business. It took me 8 years and I made a lot of mistakes. And all of those mistakes, and more importantly, lessons learned, are in this book. And we have chapter takeaways, 5 to 15 takeaways that you could apply right now to your business. Check it out on Amazon, $1 Million Journey by me, Erik J. Olson.